look at that. Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to Absolutely Definitely Not the 6 Plus show. That is not what this is today. Ignore what is on your screen. It was only a bit different for you. Because that's right, the people joining me aren't currently all just ignoring me and pretending they don't know me. They are busy, as are you. That's right. We slid into your DMs. We exchanged a few flirty messages. And now we have invited you to hobby and chill with us. This is something we've been looking to do or try out for a while now. We've gone away doing real world stuff, apparently, or something. We thought, let's jump in and have a go, a bit of a hobby stream. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to chat. You guys are going to join us, or maybe you're just going to listen whilst you are hobbying. We're going to be talking about who knows what, because we haven't planned this in the slightest. We're just going to dive in. We're going to chat about all the different mysteries of the world, maybe slightly related to Warhammer. And hopefully you can chip in the chat, ask us questions, just let us know what you're hobbying with. Let's just have a nice hour or so and get some productive hobbying done. We're also going to be using this as an opportunity to share with you all on the progress that people are making on the Discord. We have a special from Greater Greatness tab, and that's going to be a nice fun time just so people can be famous and have tens of people look at their wonderful hobbying all on the internet. And is that not what the dream is? So, as I said, I am joined by some wonderful people, and also Scrivo is here. So, how are you, Sir Scrivo?
I am fantastic. I've upgraded my camera so that now you can't see the washing behind me.
I know, it's got such good definition that you've managed to blur out the background. I like that. Yeah. It's beautiful. And there's some funky lights going on there as well.
Yeah, that's actually the room's light. Apparently it does that every so often. I think it's because of the theme of the army I'm building.
Oh, interesting. We'll come to back to that. But before tonight, have you been involved in any sort of 40k recently?
I've watched lots of games of 40k on the weekend because we had our first 6 plus invitational. And a few people were there. There were 22 players. Chris was present. You at least were attending, right?
I was also there, absolutely. So we're running some invitational events. The team 6 Plus spoke out. They said, look, we want more socials. We want more time to hang out with each other and just have fun. So Scrivo said, guys, I will take on the responsibility. I will organise all these wonderful events. And then we can have as many 6 Plus people as possible come to these events. We can socialise, have a great time. What did we have? Like 5, 6?
I think it was 6 plus.
6 of the police arrived at this one. Yeah. I'm sure it'll increase. Those numbers will increase, I'm sure. But we had some other lovely people, didn't we? Yeah. A great time was had. I got to run Harlequins for the first time. After this video, I'm going to do my own event report for that. But suffice to say, I, with Harlequins, did 20 or more DACA. So I think we all can clearly see there's no problem there at all. As long as they're taking a Stomper and 2 Gorkanauts, then we are absolutely fine. But it was a good time. Yeah, it was a lovely atmosphere, good vibes, and some Warhammer was played too. And what are you hobbying on tonight, Scrivo?
So at the moment, I'm trying to cut the head off of a Bloodmaster. What is a Bloodmaster, you say? It is a herald of Khorne, which is part of the proposed army I'm putting together to do World Eaters. So my Greater Greatness is a project that I was trying to do during the second lockdown.
Yeah.
Hoping they'd eventually get an army book. I was like, right, I'm going to get some conversions going. So I built a Foot Lord. I was like, that's a safe bet, guys. A Foot Chaos Lord. Perfect.
Always good.
For starting an army.
Yeah.
The World Eaters Codex then dropped. There is not a Foot Chaos Lord. So I have one ready for when it does come out. But as a result, I've slowly kind of been trying to do this army for so long. So when we came up with the project, I was like, right, you know what? I'm getting it done. So my pledge for April is I'm getting 2 Christmases ago's army battle box done in the first month.
Excellent. That's what I like. Very nice. All right. Who else can I now interrupt from hobbying? Hey, Ben Pierce, how's it going?
Hello there, Chris. It's going well.
Excellent. And how are you, Mr. RTT? Have you had any tournaments recently?
Oh, well, believe it or not, I actually did have an RTT this weekend,
No.
Chris.
Did you? And did you once again go 3-0?
I would like to say yes, but that would in fact be a dirty lie.
Oh, we probably
Turns
can't
out
say.
I've gone from being able to only win 3 games to not even being able to win 3 games now.
How embarrassing for
Um,
you. It'd be all those void weavers you're taking, I reckon.
it will be that and Jack absolutely bodying me off the board in about 3 turns.
Oh, very
Um,
kind Jack, isn't it?
he was a nasty man to me in round 3.
Okay.
But I feel like he's taken his vengeance now, and
Yeah.
all is right with the world again. So I'm sure he looked pretty chipper by the end of it. Anyway, didn't you, Jack?
That's what happens. If you
Yeah,
like
I guess so. You're making me sound like an asshole, but
You sound like.
I mean, it's fair, but
And we had a good time, Jack. We had a good time.
we did.
That's
We
all we
did.
can ask for. And what are you hobbying on, Ben?
Right now, I am building 2 Chaos Rhinos for my Emperor's Children. I built one the other night, and I put some little. Oh, that's not going to show up in the light, is it? This is really awful.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast, listeners.
Oh yeah, podcast. I put some noise marine bits on the Rhino, so it looks a bit more Emperor's Children-y.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
But yes, I'm building Rhinos for the first time in probably 7 years now.
I guess it's kind of a thing which is quite rare to do, but pretty much everyone has done it.
Yeah,
At some
exactly.
point in their 40k career, nearly everyone has built a Rhino, whether they still own it or whatever.
Well, that is it. That is it. But they're quite nice models to build. But yeah, this is for my Emperor's Children. An opportunity to paint more pink for me.
Yeah, you don't.
Shock, horror.
Who would have a favourite colour that they use excessively in all their armies?
I
Weirdo.
wonder who, Chris. I
Yeah,
wonder
what
who.
a weirdo. Wow, excellent. Cool. Anyway, we've heard slightly from Jack. So how the devil are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Are you alright?
Yeah. I'm surviving. I've got a few days to go until Easter holidays and 2 weeks off. So we're just counting the day and child minding the kids at school and hoping they don't kill each other and all the usual stuff that teachers do, really. Have you been up to much 40k?
Well, as I aforementioned, we went to the old RTT at the weekend, the East Midlands RTT.
Yep.
East Midlands Slam RTT. And I went 2-1 there. So that's
Nice.
fun with the experimental prototype cadre.
Because when that came out, some title players were actually reasonably happy with that sort of thing, but it's not really made any waves. How are you feeling about it now you've had a few events with it?
I think the best thing I can say about it is that it's not bad at anything.
Okay.
Which is, it doesn't have like a super obvious crippling weakness in your detachment, which is it's just nice. It's nice to say. I do mean that as a good thing.
Yeah. Do you think it's the best detachment?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think it's got great mobility options. Sorry, it's got great defensive options and great offensive options. It just offers no mobility, which is really the weakness of Tau, I think, ultimately, on the long and short of it. So I don't think it helps in that regard. So probably not the best, but one of the top 3, I would say.
Okay. So are you still thinking Montcar's the best?
Yeah, Montcar, I think, has a lot of potential. The problem is they're all really situational, right? Like, they're all good at different things for certain times. Montcar's good because it improves your mobility and reliability. But then, if you want even more mobility, you have stuff like auxiliary cadre.
Yeah.
If you want to just double down the firepower, you have Calyon. They're all solid, like, B grade detachments. It's just sometimes you're gonna come to a situation where you're not gonna have the tools you need because you don't have like that toolbox attachment that has everything that you want.
Yeah, of course.
Which is fine. It's just that's just the way of playing some armies. So.
Oh, very philosophical. Excellent. And what are you currently working on? More Tau then, is it?
No, I'm building guardsmen.
Excellent.
So I've said it many times on the channel, but I absolutely despise building things.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to do is just build all of the models that I have in one go.
Yeah.
Which is, I built a command squad over there, and I've got 10 guardsmen over there built as well. And now I'm building, tonight I'm going to be doing 3 mortars, and that would leave me with a sentinel, 2 field ordnance batteries, and 10 more guardsmen to build, and then I can just start painting it all. So I'm just going to build it all in one go, so I don't have to do it again.
Very wise. I share your feelings on building. I hate it with a burning passion, and yeah, doing it all in one go is really painful. But I mean, I've got like 5 striking scorpions I need to build. I'm in fact doing it like one model an evening at the moment. It's that I'm just like, I gotta hate this so much. Just give me like old school Lord of the Rings models where it's like just 2 things just stick together, job done.
It's the fact that a lot of these arms and legs and bodies only fit with one other set of arms, legs, and bodies, and then you've got to fucking find them. Play Where's Waldo on the sprite.
Yeah.
Together.
There's so many pieces of some things, and you're like, "Yep, cool. This has taken me just as long to glue it together as to find the pieces."
I don't know why they can't just number it from like left to right across the screen, and then you
far too much sense. I'm sure there is. Well, you'd hope there is a reason, but yeah, no, it's far too logical. Lovely. Right, who else we got? It's uncharacteristically quiet. Hello there, Ed. How are you, sir?
He's muted.
He's
That's
muted. So quiet.
Hi guys, let's try that again. That was such a good and energetic entrance as well. Now I have to try that again. But no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just hoppy. That's why I'm uncharacteristically quiet. Also, I was muted.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main reason. I go as far as to say. Yeah.
Also, to be fair, I actually didn't interrupt anyone, so you know, I actually didn't say anything, so I didn't notice that I wasn't muted. So yes, I am hobbying, Chris. I'm painting models and everything. Are you proud of me?
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. That's a relief. Have you been up to any playing or anything?
I went to South Coast. No, I did all right there. That was all right.
You did, not too shabby. In fact, you managed to make the top cut.
That was fun. It was a good weekend.
Good.
Got taken apart in an AdMech mirror in the end. Really nice guy, great game. And it's sad that he got Ben Jones last round, but I was rooting for him in the end. My AdMech chum.
Of course, BFS, both AdMech mains.
100%. Two AdMech mirrors over the weekend, so that was fun.
You are going to become a pro of them. What's your win percentage in the AdMech mirror now?
30%. I've won one.
Oh, just like me. In the rest of the
there you go.
There you go. No, it's better than the 0% it was before this weekend. The weekend that came. So.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. You're absolutely right. And so, what are you currently working on?
I am currently working on Space Wolves. So as anyone who's seen my Space Wolf Greater Greatness video, if you haven't, go watch it. Shameless plugin, even though it's our own plugin. So basically, what I've done is go get a load of Space Wolves out of my pile of shame, print off a load of Grey Tide Studio 3 printed little STL bits and stuff, and I am going to glue them on and make them all Space Wolfy and cool. So I've done my Najal first, which is finished, and now I'm working on my Terminators, which is going to be really cool. But I've decided on an absolutely psychotic way of doing the armor. So
it's quite a bold look, isn't it?
It to be honest, it works. It's like non-metallic, but not non-metallic.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. It's like highlighting in a non-metallic style, just for hyper contrast. That's literally it. So, look, my camera's terrible.
Yeah. I can see. So basically, for the podcast listeners, it's like really bold edge highlighting. It's basically the middle stage of non-metallic, where you've put the highlights, you put the shadows. It's just not been blended together, I guess you would say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been blended together-ish, just not to the level of non-metallic. Because I'm just like, this is meant to be on the table. This is meant to be tabletop. So what I want is the model to be there, and someone goes, "Oh, that's cool." So that's where the bold highlights have sort of come in, and that's sort of where I'm going to. Also, it's just like getting the reflection from the armor. So like doing like lines down the panels to get that reflection, sort of look, but not quite as. I'm not there. I'm not quite there to blend non-metallic metal all the way through yet. I'm trying. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. But
it's time intensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a good. This is just a good segue to start it off. Do you know what I mean? It's just getting yourself into the habits of like trying to create little blends and just trying to create tricks of the eye to make things look better than they actually are, which is kind of how I paint models.
I mean, I'm exactly the same. Yeah, just like that moment where you're like, oh, that looks really effective, and then you try and take a photo and you just see every little flaw, and you're like, oh, this is an absolute monstrous piece. How did I paint such a massive wide line on this edge highlighting? And you take the camera away, and you're like, the camera adds £10, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. The thing is people. There's a difference. And this is the thing that people have to remember. People who paint for photos, like paint models for photos, is a very different aspect than just painting for tabletop, because photos just open up every single little thing that you're actually going to be looking at on the model.
Yeah.
Even areas that you will never look, like I don't know, the armpit. I don't know, like you've missed a highlight on an armpit. You'll see it on a photo, but on the tabletop, who's ever going to notice that?
No.
Apart from nerds.
Fucking nerds.
I mean, I still remember I painted this model and it wasn't done yet, and my mum was downstairs. She was like, "Oh, that looks so good! Like, I don't know how you do all that." And yeah, it's just so good. I'm like, there is a giant accidental paintbrush mark of like black or whatever across the entire back, and you just don't see it, do you? Right? Like when we're looking at our things, we spot all those little mistakes, etc. But everyone who just picks up the model just kind of just sees the model as it is, and yeah, as you say, the photos just unfortunately open up all the nastiness. But yeah, Space Wars, are you excited for the new stuff that's been announced?
Desperately excited. I am very excited for that stuff because basically It's funny that I started this army not expecting a Space Wolf release. Didn't even know there was one released,
Yeah.
and then the Great Greatness video was released like 2 days before Adepticon, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that. And someone commented and went,
Yeah.
starting this in the exact same time as the Adepticon launch.
How convenient.
How convenient. I was like, bruh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, we actually know things, guys. That's damn, it's wrong with us. No, we had literally no idea.
Yeah, no idea. But I was just like, oh, that's convenient. But the thing is, I was going to convert everything anyway, and I'm still going to. So, like, I've converted Najal up, I've converted the Terminators up. I'm doing my Wolf Guard I'm basically making Primaris, but everything old is going to become new from conversion. So by Thunder Cav, are going to be Primaris Thunder Cav, not with like the old riders on, but with something new and special and cool. And I'm redoing a lot of the characters, like Ulrich. I'm just redoing Ulrich. I like Ulrich's model, but I want it to be more dynamic and I want it to be more movie.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm redoing a lot of the old Space Wolf characters, ready for them all to be legends when the book comes out.
That's exactly it. That is exciting. Only right, and then finally we've got Mr. Rob. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm really well, yeah. Just good to just do some hobby and just hang out, really, isn't
That's it. This is my excuse. I don't really ever get to just sit and hobby like these days. I would say probably a good solid 2 hours. I find like once a fortnight.
Yeah.
So actually, this is just like free time.
Yeah.
And what are you currently working on?
I am building Warp Spiders.
Ooh.
So I built earlier on today. I built 10 fire dragons. So yeah, on full production mode now to get this Yunari force up and going.
I was going to say, so you've had a couple of games in now with Yunari. How are you finding them?
They are fucking cracked. So I've had 2 games. First 2 games with the codex at all. I tabled a CSM player turn 2, the first game, which just shouldn't happen. And then I played Harley on his guard and beat Harley on my second game with a faction, which, to be completely frank, it shouldn't happen because he's a better player than me.
No, Harley's shit.
Sorry, I forgot the thing.
Hey, I taught Harley a lot. He has to be good. He has to be good. Put too much time into him not to be good.
No, Harley. I got to join the second half of that game to be fair, it was just mainly Harley whinging about everything that went wrong. But it was quite interesting to just to like check out and guard is certainly an interesting place at the moment. But Yunari obviously.
Yunari just so good. Like the amount of stuff you can just do.
Yeah, there's so many options on there.
You can just set it up so you're always scoring your midfield objective. Like you never not score primary with it. And that's the whole weakness of Eldari, right?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, except for in this detachment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm painting these guys up. So maybe coming to an ITT soon.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. I'm in the same boat. I've played less Yunari games, but I too will be taking Yunari, and very excited just to hopefully get it right and cause some tears. Will Yunari be prevalent at ITT? You would imagine so. So yeah, if you guys haven't already got reps into Yunari, then I would suggest going with an idea of who's going to be taking on the Yanari. Who do we think it should be? What armies would you guys recommend have a game into Yanari? Because obviously we've got the ITT coming up. It's going to be a massive event. Teams are listening anxiously here, looking for every little bit of tidbit of advice on how to defeat Mordaka, if it's still around, how to defeat Yanari, how to defeat new demons. I don't know. So, is there any secret sauce you guys are thinking of? Like, what do we think is gonna teams that could be taking to try and like take on United and that sort of thing?
Combat pressure, yeah.
Yeah, run at them.
Send.
If you can't do your tricks, you're not happy.
If I don't shoot you and just charge with chainsaws, it turns out you just die. So that's my general theory towards Yanari. But yes, I think that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be seeing a lot of combat pressure lists turning up in team comps at the moment.
I think there's a lot of armies out there that anything with like a lot of really like a high density of hard to kill stuff with a bit of indirect. I know that sounds like quite nebulous, but there's quite a few armies that fit that description. I think Death Guard do it. I think Guard can do it with the right build.
Siege Amble?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if you were running a couple of Desolators, but there's a lot of. I think there's quite a few armies that can deal with it, but I think you have to build specifically into it, and yeah,
it does.
It's not a guarantee either.
It does a little bit of everything, and if you let it only do a little bit of that particular thing in one place, it can all fall apart. And if you run out and tag it, as Ed says, it can't function.
Ultimately, the best counter for Yanari is playing against Yanari a shit ton, and then knowing all their tricks backwards and forwards.
To be fair, you're right. You do if you want to know how to play against Yanari guys, even if you have a direct counter to it, if you let them do something that you don't want to do, and you're not practiced into it, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Just don't sit back and just let them do what they want.
Yeah, just make things happen. Make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I play. It's just the other thing, right? Like I played into Charlie, one of Tom's coaching clients, on Wednesday. On the weekend, and kind of we said, like we turned into kind of like a coaching game, and Tom sat there and chatted to Charlie through the game, and it was like that Harlequins. They don't really have much killing power. They're kind of going to try and deny your primary. They're going to try and say, "Oh, look at all my fancy tricks," and dissuade you. And after after we got to turn 3, and we were like, "Yeah, well, you're losing because you've kind of sat back a bit too much. So why don't you just try and send it and see what happens?" And funnily enough, the Harlequins just completely capitulated. So I think it is. Elder are very good at look, this is scary, or look what I can do. You should be scared. Stay away from me. And then eventually you go, oh, well, I guess I'll have to run at you. And it worked. That was weird. And also,
I killed everything with bolt pistols. Weird that.
yeah. Dear me, my guys that have never killed a single model in their life just wiped this entire squad. Weird.
Yeah, it's like, wait, you're telling me that like I can just charge toughness 3 things and they die? Yes, yes, you can, guys. Yes, you can. Just do it. It's gonna be fine.
I thought you guys talk like these things don't have a 3+ armor save and
they are silly fucking durable. That was yeah.
I don't struggle, but that's just me.
Just roll 6s.
I love one of Yanari game once my Admech from the failing 5 3-up saves, and I was like, see, this is fine. It's absolutely fine.
Fair and balanced.
For the win.
So yeah, that's the roundup. So if you're one of those people who likes to watch our videos and then comment saying, "Oh, guys, could you just let's talk about yourself, please? That'd be nice. I want you to get to real content." Well, tough shit. That is all we're doing today.
We are the real content.
We are the real content. So let's just have a dip into the chat as always. Get involved. Let us know what you're up to. Ask us some questions. So we've got Pickalax saying, getting mixed messages from Chris. First he tells me to play with myself. Now he's inviting me to Netflix and chill. I feel like we need some context there, Pickalax. Otherwise people might get the wrong idea.
Or not.
Or not. No context.
the only context is I did a video about how to play with yourself. The end. And if you want to watch that video and learn how to play with yourself, then become a member. Gordon says, "Don't make that sound like Black Library erotic fiction. Wouldn't that be a fun show? Let's write our own Black Library erotic fiction. Maybe sometime we'll do that. Tonight is not that night today." John Black says, "Evening all, gargoyle making." Okay, get with the times, John. Come on. Because apparently 2OC and fly, shoot, and scoot is good. Yeah, apparently I've heard that too. I think Tyranids are on, or Tyranid players are on the verge of working that out. I haven't seen too many gargoyles in my time, but I think they might nearly be ready to make that realization as well. Jerry, Mr. Hero from Belgium, who flew to our event. Hello, sir. Scrivo's mic is intermittent. That's right, we just won't let him talk. And then
It was here, that's why I've moved it.
There we go. Gizmo the Wizard, last time I built a rhino was before the year Y2K. That is old school, isn't it? Really? Jerry, I don't want to count all the rhinos Razorbacks I've assembled and painted since 5th edition. Interesting question for you. What is the earliest edition that you played or remember or have models from?
8th edition.
Okay, that's boring. Anyone?
Third edition, and some of them came with me to my last event.
Ooh.
Yeah. Some Space Marines from the third edition starter set. So yeah, some tactical marine. Oh no, they wouldn't come from that box, but yeah, it would have been 8th edition jump pack intercessors. So yeah, they got restored up and tagged along.
Nice.
Ooh, look at me, I'm so old.
Oh my beard,
Rob,
Benjamin.
That was pretty nerdy there, Rob, to be fair, not going to lie. Like, I know we're doing Warhammer, but come on, man.
I mean, fuck you guys.
That's right, Rob. I've got your corner, because the shock attack gun that I used in the bat report with Chris a few weeks back is from 2nd edition, and I owned it when 2nd edition was the current rule set. So, yeah.
So is 2nd edition the one where the box was the Blood Angels guy?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's my early memories of Warhammer. Is my dad bought me that box and painted the Space Marines, half as Ultramarines, half as Blood Angels, and then painted the Orcs as well. And I've got like the OG Gazgul Thraka in metal.
He's like this big.
I've still got all those models, and those are like the OG ones. I don't think I ever played the game. I probably still got the books somewhere. Yes, Swissy says Cardboard Death Dread. And Swissy, you are welcome to join the room if you want. The link's in the WhatsApp group. I'll just add you in if you want. Then we have 7 of us. That'd be exciting. Absolute carnage. Let's go through. There's any more? Ultimate Fox here. Hello, Dave. How are the Lord of the Rings Corsairs going, Dave? Let us know, because you've been very quiet in the middle of... I just bought a Middle Earth army. It's due to arrive tomorrow. Thranduil's Court. Very excited. He sent me pictures of the rules. Can't wait to not play that.
But it's your choice, though. You've got it to play if you wanted to.
I do have to, exactly that. Gordon Chung says Aragorn's Army of the Dead might manage an army.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. Chris is wondering who's going to be the first to complain about backache. It'll be Scrivo.
Because he's old.
I'm in my good chair.
He's in his painting chair, his old man's chair. It's fun. Ryan is currently painting Dark Angels and Scepters after not super gluing his fingers together, playing with magnets. Brave. Do you guys magnetize?
Yeah.
Town player, magnetized, never.
No,
It's on today. Fire Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely not. I do not magnetize, I'll be honest with you. I just go, fuck it, this is this weapon. I did want to buy a whole host of Harlequins, and the guy who I bought them from had magnetized the arms. Now,
what a crazy man.
Those are tiny magnets. Absolutely tiny.
Terrifying when you move them, right? And they just...
well, they do. I think by the end of the event, I think about 5 of them have just lost their arms. Yeah, it's not ideal. So yeah, there we go. Cardboard killer cans. I've got lots of shit out there. Let's see the microscope glasses, boys. Yeah, disappoint. Do we have anyone in the team who's into? Has anyone ever done that? Got the micro?
No, because I have eyes, man. They're great. They're amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if it does genuinely help. Like, or how much does it help?
It might do, but I don't have to paint individual like fucking particles. So I'm
I had a microscope for work, and I had it at home at one point. And I did use it I did try painting with it. It is a lot easier to edge highlight under a microscope. But I can't be asked.
I
Basically,
imagine
it's a long and short of it.
I haven't used it, but I imagine that means you're also going to be incredibly critical on it as well, because you're like, it's not exactly perfect when actually you're not, because you're.
I guess if you're doing display models like competition entries, then it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, probably.
But not for us mere mortals. Interesting.
The
go for it.
one friend that's got one of those kind of goggle sets, he was using it saying it was really good, and then he became more dependent on it and then actually needed glasses. So I've avoided it because I'm worried that my eyesight will get worse.
Don't screw your eyes up. Okay, interesting. Gene Steeler, yo, evening all. Yo. Building my way through 45 Nurglings. Is that a thing? How many? Can you take 45 Nurglings?
Yeah,
It's 9 on a base,
battle line,
right?
aren't they?
you can make them battle line.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, I can't remember what attachment it is, but one of them makes a battle line, and you can be like, haha, I have all the Nurglings.
No,
All
they're
of the
always battle line, I
infiltrate.
think.
Don't get me wrong, they can't move through walls, but and they can't do actions, but they exist with 4 wins each.
That is...
They can go through walls in the Nurgle detachment, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
There's a strat for it.
there is a strat to
No.
go through walls in the
Oh,
yeah.
sure. With the strat, yeah. I thought you just meant in general. I was like,
No,
no.
there's a strat.
They
Okay,
changed the data sheet.
45 Nurglings. That's exciting.
Not quite 54.
No. Rookie. Got to pump those numbers up. Right. Question from John Black. What's the scariest or hardest model kit that's a normal model?
Batraxi.
Yeah. Okay, so
Batraxi's
Patsy,
fine.
those
Does
wings.
Does Unicone count?
Ooh, that's a
It's not a
good one.
normal model, really, is it? I guess it's a bit fancy. I think he means like a traditional troop.
If I would have said Caesaras, but failing that, flayed ones.
I was going to say, yeah, Fade One's got a right reputation, haven't they?
Or Tomb Blades, apparently. I've never used them. But
They're pretty bad as well. To be honest,
they're
most
definitely horrible.
Necron stuff I think is a pain in the ass to build. Even the normal warriors have a really weird, the new ones have a very strange way they fit together. You have to fit the arms inside of them as you close them out. It's just really annoying.
Yeah. I also found the new scouts annoying. I don't know whether anyone else did, but the new scout kit, I was just like, why is this in so many bits? They're
I'll
scouts.
ask Scrivo, because Scrivo built mine. How well is Scrivo?
I've built 4 boxes of them now. I found them all right.
I built 10 and I hated them. Maybe I just hate assembly though. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say I hate building everything. So
Yeah, I might be impartial. I've highlighted 3 Terminators, guys.
Ooh.
Progress report.
Good ad. Got speaker connected. Not as old as Rob. Oh, who could this be who's joined us? It is someone who's not as old as Rob. Let's add him to the chat. Hello, Davey. Oh, he's looking serious. Is he there?
No.
He's old enough that his technology doesn't work and he gets confused by it though.
He looks very confused right now.
All right, I can hear you now. Cool, here we go.
Oh, he's missed all our burns. That's a shame. How are you, Davey?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm against the clock, is what I am. I have a GSC army to paint for the weekend, so that's fun.
For a weekend. And how many points do you have to paint?
Well, now I've done all the Ridge Runners to an acceptable standard, and I've done the Goliath truck. They were the biggies. So now it's just painting 4,000 individual GSC models, right?
They're really easy to paint, so that should be nice.
Yeah, they're definitely not fiddly
well
at all.
known for not being
and
detailed.
things.
I feel like we should be the judge of what's an acceptable standard, Davey.
It's a good shout. How many different paints have you used?
Well, sorry, Ben. Is it just airbrushing something and winning best painter? Is that how you do that?
I can't help having talent in a gun.
Wow, I did 3 colours and I won best painted.
It's not even that. The thing is, if you just paint something really bright, people are automatically like, "That's amazing." You're like, "Yeah, it is." I absolutely.
No joking. Ben's stuff is pretty sick.
Ben's going to be doing some painting videos for us, aren't you, Ben?
I am.
Remember when you said you'd do that?
I do. I remember. You remember? I remember.
Nice.
Yes, we'll get them up soon. Me and Ed have been having some plots and discussions.
Oh god.
Excellent. Well, that'll definitely happen then. So that's.
I mean, I'm not sure we're the best two combined to make sure things happen, but
Definitely not the short attention span crew.
Ed, you're muted again, mate. Yes. Can't hear you at all.
Oh, Ed.
He's still muted, Ed. All I can see is Ed's mouth moving. No, still.
Calls me the old yeah, he calls me
Hello?
old. Fucker.
Oh, there we go.
I don't even know what happened there. My mic was down. I even said, no, I'm not, you prick, because I thought you were joking.
Amazing.
Me and Ben are definitely working on some bits, and it's going to be fun.
That's what I like to hear. Well, I think we should probably take this time as I've just finished. I'm playing Space Marine Scout, just in case anyone cared for my.
Oh, yeah, no one asked. Yeah, what are you working on, Chris?
No, kid.
Space Marine Scouts, when you listening?
Yeah, I'm working on my
Move
Blue
on.
Blood Angels, and I finished. I finished my first Scout. The Scout one was actually really quite nice, and I was looking at them like this would be really fun to actually edge highlight. I think you could do a nice job on that. I then didn't because that is part of the principle of this army. I'm trying to do it quick and easy, but very effective, which is why they are covered in red dust to try and just to cover all the blemishes. But I actually do think it's really nice. I've put a work in progress on the Greater Greatness channel, but I'll do some videos for my next video, which will be coming out probably next week, actually. I should probably film that then. Because, it's nearly time to come back around. We've done like a month of Greater Greatness now.
What
And
drew
it's
you back?
not just been 6++ members who have been doing Greater Greatness. Seamless segue here.
What drew you back into Space Marines, Chris?
Pardon?
What drew you back into Space Marines? Because you tried it before as well, right?
So last year, I was in a car journey with Jack Tite, and he was telling me how exciting Blood Angels were and how they seem quite fun. I was like, they do seem quite fun. This was literally just before everyone was like, they could be the new thing. And I was like, well, I do actually quite like the new models. Contrary to most people, I actually like the new Sanguinary Guard and stuff. And then, I had the idea, and then I was flicking through YouTube, and it was just fate. I saw a thumbnail which caught my eye, and it was, of course, a turquoise Space Marine, and it was called Painting Blood Angels Successor Chapter. And it turns out there's a chapter called the Atlantean Spears, who are a Blood Angels Successor Chapter, and are in a turquoise colour, which, as we know, is my jam.
Cool.
And fun fact, it was literally the day baby Oscar was born. I was messaging Scrivo. There's Chantal next to me, writhing around in agony. And Scrivo's like, I could build them for you if you want. And I'm like, okay, arranging that deal. And then,
Just lean over to Chantal.
It's okay, Chantal. I don't even know if Chantal does know that. And she's probably listening right now. So, love you.
Oh, I thought you meant like she was like in labour. You just sort of lean over in the hospital bed. Hey, I got these scouts for me. Isn't that awesome?
I was actually in the room. It wasn't on the phone.
I don't think Chantal would have really cared at that point if I had told her about this. But yeah, I arranged to have a Blood Angels army built for me by Scrivo whilst Oscar was getting ready to be born. And then I've just been slowly working on it. I've tried and failed many times with Blood Angel armies, or Space Marine armies. So who knows? But yeah, anyway, I want to go back to my seamless segue now. But thank you for asking. And I am going to share our Discord. If you are not part of our Discord, what is wrong with you? There's like 750 people there, guys. We are so popular. And we have a tab here called From Greater Greatness. And we have invited all of our community to get involved. So if you are on our Discord and you are working on a brand new project at the moment, then come join us on our Discord and share your progress, really. I'm just going to scroll through it. I'm just going to pick out some things. It's actually been really busy. And so this is these people's opportunity for their 10 seconds of fame so that, as I said to the guys, literally tens of people will watch this and see your wonderful work. Oh, there's my face. Oh, hey, look, Ben. Look, you are.
Hello.
Look at this.
That's nice, isn't it? Who's done that?
Oh, that's pretty nice. This is going to be ideal for the podcast listeners. They're
It'll
going
look
to.
good when it's finished, Ben.
We're going to have to say some funny things right now. We have to really raise the wit. So yeah, it's pink and green. It looks pretty flamboyant though. What's the basing colour? Quite like that.
That is a very good question, Chris. It was some sort of Vallejo Air blue. I think deep sea blue, if I am not
I think
mistaken.
that's what you said.
Nice. That's cool.
I think that's what it was.
So it's the triad of the kind of the blue,
Yeah,
the pink,
purple,
and the
green.
green.
Yeah.
On the
Ben,
colour.
how are we doing that? How are we doing that luminous green effect then?
So I pre-wash with a white ink, so it falls into all the recesses. I then airbrush on a fluorescent green, in just like lots and lots and lots of thin coats. Then go back over. So in like a lot of the grills, you go back over with a really thin down white ink just to get that extra heat in there, and then do a little bit of black over the top on the raised edges, just to add that little bit of cool down on those areas. And da-da, OSL green there for you.
Very good.
Nailed it. It's very beautiful. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
More EC, Mr. Jim Eccles, my coaching mentee, who's a Grey Knight main. So really nice to see he's painting Emperor's Children here. You son.
Go on, Jim.
They were silver a week before this photo was taken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to read out all the. Oh, Rob, your striking scorpion is naked. Talk us through this one.
That's exactly what I was going for. So my Eldari, they've got like a pinky white coral base, and I decided to do the bottom half of them that. And then I noticed there's these little striking scorpion specific armor on their crutch and legs. So
Literally naked with a thong on and a big crop top.
Yeah, I didn't quite think it through, but I'm too far gone now, so they're all going to have it.
Absolutely. No, love it.
You should paint some Crocs on them.
Scrivo's here with his World Eaters. Oh, we'll have to zoom in on that. There we are. Red and black. Is that right, Scrivo?
Yeah, I thought I'd really mix it up a bit and do red and black.
Yeah, change what's that.
Are you excited about the new character?
Yeah, I really like that they went, oh, let's just add something different to that arm and put them on a slightly bigger base. Done. That's 2650, please.
I won't lie, man. I'm so disappointed. There's not more units being released for those armies. Like I'm an outlier, and I like the robots that the T-Suns are getting.
I love them.
Yeah, they're cool.
There's not enough units in those armies, like just regular units. Like,
It doesn't encourage list diversity, does it?
Yeah, exactly. But there's too many factions in this game with more characters than units. I don't think that's a trend we should be heading further towards, basically.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So my counter proposal to that is, and I said it on my Greater Greatness video, is okay, right, I've got Tyranny, I'm a Tyranny player, I've got 46 data sheets, and quite a lot of them are usable, but there's quite a significant amount of them that you could use. And you need to have like 3, and I'm the kind of person who's like, hey, I'm going to an RTT. I need to buy 3 of this new unit and paint them in time. And unfortunately, that's the kind of person I am, and it's hard on the bank balance, right? So then you look at other armies and you go, well, I need a second army, but I don't want to go into something that has 1 million data sheets. So what about World Eaters? They have just a few. I need to paint 3 of, or X amount of these, however many units, and actually now I've got a second army relatively quickly. So I would say that's the one positive of it.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I think there's a point between sort of World Eaters and Death Guard and then Tyranids. Like there is a point between those two that I think we can find a happy medium.
Do you not think Death Guard have enough data sheets?
They haven't got many units, have they? They've got plenty of characters. I think they're pushing the. I mean, a lot of them are just copy and paste from the CSM book, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Let me double check. Make sure I'm not just talking rubbish.
Death God have got a lot more of their own unique characters, but they are all just foot bloody characters.
They've got Poxwalkers, the Plague Burst Crawler, the Blight Haulers, the Bloat Drone, the Death Shroud Terminators, the Blight Lord Terminators, Plague Marines, and they got 6 units that are unique to them, and then everything else is CSM vehicles. And then they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 characters that are unique to them that aren't like Chaos Space Marine Lord copy pasted over.
Be nice to have one of them.
Yeah, I think
Well,
World Eaters are even worse off.
It is bizarre, right? That they create this geezer who looks as mad as fuck, and he regens models to the unit.
Yeah.
Hang on, you don't look like an apothecary. Oh wait, I've just got this injection in my back pocket. This chainsword actually is a surgical chainsword.
I had to laugh as well when they were showing the new character model, because they're going to get yet another character model in their release, the Death Guard. And they were like, his sword is one of the most devastating weapons in 40k. And I'm like, I cannot wait for that to be...
Hits.
It's going to be 8 lethal hits, 4 attacks. Let's go. Can't wait.
Yeah. They can certainly oversell stuff.
All right. Okay. Oh, there we go, Mr. Lohman, proving that what wonders you can do with contrast paint. He's obviously doing orcs for his. Has he done his Great Orcs video yet?
No.
No.
Yeah, it'll be out soon, I'm sure. And we've got a pretty scary looking orc there. I'm assuming he's painting 30 looters as we speak. Gordy the Guru is working on knights. Look at that yellow. Oh, you brave man. I once tried to be. I was painting a Bretonian knight many moons ago. I was like, yeah, you always. Yeah, all the professionals undercoat everything with black. And even though I want this to be a black and yellow knight, I'm going to undercoat it with black. And then proceeded to use probably about 3/4 of a pot of yellow paint to try and paint the knight. And it did not look good, I can assure you. So that was a waste of 2 hours of my life. But this is a beautiful yellow, so I assume you've done it correctly, Gordy. Fun fact, lots of people say you should undercoat pink before you paint yellow.
You should.
Yellow.
No, you should. Pink, white zenith, yellow ink. Oh, beautiful. If you really have time, spray some purple ink underneath the pink. Sorry, yeah, purple ink underneath the pink, and then go with the yellow ink after the zenith, and then it just creates this beautiful, like, warm blend into the yellow. Oh, it's beautiful.
There you go, guys. So see, this hobby video is, it's providing all the information.
Yeah, I'm a hidden hobbyist. No one knows really,
That actually really shocked me when I found that out. I was genuinely shocked. I was like, hang on, he really plays good and he paints all right as well.
He knows how to paint. Yeah.
You're the best hobbyist when you've got 48 hours to go.
Yeah, when I'm up against it, that's when you want to. That's when you know a person, It's funny.
What about your painting, mate?
Huh? What'd you say?
Just a sec.
What about the painting?
The painting looks great, mate. I don't know what you're about. My Abmech looks incredible.
Never mind.
I didn't get that one. That one's straight over my head. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to.
If John's giggling, assume it's rude.
Yeah.
I'm just too innocent,
Oh, sure.
We've got Anne, who's working on Chaos Space Marines. Is that Vashtor I see there? No. Is that Vashtor?
No.
Yeah,
that's a very disappointing 80mm base with a model on it.
Oh,
no, it is Vashtor. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, they are. And there's Wolverine. Exciting. So then we've got to chat. We're not going to bother with the chat. Oh, God, he's shared more nights. Oh, he's got the flock out. Did you guys used to use flock on your bases?
Goblin green, didn't he? Goblin green base
Yeah,
for him.
Goblin green
It's static grass.
Static
grass, not flock.
Oh, is it static grass? Sorry. Yeah. That's a good shout.
What's the difference for those who don't know?
So flock is normally actually like a sand-based kind of weird thing made out of like bits of stuff. While static grass is actually produced using actual, it's like a static electricity to make it into little clumps. And you actually get applicators to put it on, and it's absolutely madness. And it all just comes straight off.
There you go.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings
It's only
Army
makes
is just
tufts,
a
right?
box of that.
Yeah, it's all about
the
tufts.
tufts are based on. Yeah.
Here's Jack with one of the greatest thumbnails. It just blends so nicely, doesn't it? Henry VIII meets World War II. Boom, right here. Beautiful.
It's one of my better ones.
So that's
Henry
young
the
Henry VIII, right? Because he was a fitty, right?
Absolutely, he was well known for being handsome.
Well, I mean, I have some things in common with Henry VIII, but I have not had 6 wives, so...
And is it gout? Please tell me it's gout.
Thanks
As
for
No.
clarifying that,
as
isn't
far
it?
as we are aware, we don't know that. That's on Jack's word. He might have had 6 wives.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
What
we've
do you
got-
have in common with Henry VIII? You like hunting?
obesity.
This is a pretty cool command here. Vash store with some funky skin and then like the old oxide going on there. Let's get a zoom in on that for you, and look at that.
Oh wow!
Hopefully you guys are
Great
okay
on
with zooming
display.
in and hang on. I do like this base. This is a funky base. Like, look at that bad boy. Oh,
That is an appropriate level of brightness.
that is
I'm here for
That's
that.
Bellacor's base,
Disco
right?
Fever
Yeah.
Vash store here. Turning into Shadow Legion. More chat. Boring. Boo, boo. Oh, we've got Jack sharing some of his guardsmen. Booming. Look at that. Whoa. Cheeky.
Yeah, I posted the question on the on Greater Greatness and in that chat as well. And unfortunately, I had basically a 50-50% split on what I should do. So I decided to kind of go halfway between the two, which is basically do this kind of. I'm going to make the green brighter than not as bright as those Kriegers,
Yeah.
but brighter than the Cadians.
Mhm.
So I can kind of hopefully get a nice halfway point. Because I think the brown on my Cadians I really like, but the green just isn't quite working for me. So I'm just going to have to sort of do like a little halfway point between the two.
Yeah. That's why we do test models, right? To work it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we have Disco Bellacore. That is like I'm a big fan of blue and pink. So as a combo, love that. So I'm big, and then you've got the green as well, which is the beautiful triad. So I'm a big fan of that model. Very cool.
It's very similar colours to your Harlequins, isn't it, Chris?
It is very similar colours to my Harlequins. Yeah, not quite as garish. My Harlequins aren't. Don't have any green on mine, but yeah, very cool. We've got more Jack. This was the other test model here.
Yeah, that'll be sort of, I think, more of a direction I'm going for. I think the problem here that I've done, you can see it a bit more clearly rather than me describing it, is that the green is like not it because I've washed it, but I haven't layered it. I've just highlighted it rather than layering and then highlighting. It's just come out too dark. But that's generally the direction I'm going to be going for because I really like the way the browns come out. Because you can see like, on that leg that's coming forward, that white line that goes down the middle. That's actually like a highlight. That's not like a light from the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know it looks like it's light from the.
It does look like light. You've nailed that.
Yeah. So that's why I like it so much, is because it actually looks like realistic lighting.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I want to try and do more like that.
Very nice. Yeah, good luck. Gordy has got a nice picture here of his knights watching us. What lad? Sam Dunn's chipped in. I'm in. I am great. I am not great. Oh, you are great, Sam Dunn. We love you.
Everyone that posts on our Discord is great.
Absolutely. This is why everyone should join it. And here we go. I assume this is Emperor's Children.
It is. That's his current project, I believe.
Nice. That's his project. We've got some more of Vashi T. Got a war chest here. Oh, so this is Pixie Rocker. Is collecting raptors, striking scorpions. That's an interesting army combination. Excited for that one. Chaos Rhino joined the team. So there we are. That's a war chest. I like that one, Pixie Rocker. Crystal Glove has just got a pile of models here, just dumped in the middle. They look orcish.
That's
very old school.
Kid. Yeah, man.
I wonder why Chris would collect orcs. Weird choice.
Some of those had shooters. Maybe it's for Mordaka.
No, that seems unlikely. We've got Drifted Away here. He's working on Kroot.
Ugh.
Oh, Jack's immediately erect because he loves that so much. Anne's been contributing a lot, and I like this. Oh my word, Paul, look at this. Fabulous Bile has been hard at work up the table. That is a lot of blood on the skin cape.
I like his face on there. It's good.
Yeah, very nicely done. A work in progress stomper here from Chris. I played against a stomper the other day.
Any good?
No.
I think I do
They
actually think
literally
Stompers are pretty good. It's just the problem is they cost 800 points. So you don't really get an army around them.
Yeah, I mean the guy I played in today, he was absolutely lovely. He brought more Daka, he brought a Stomper and 2 Gorkanauts. And what else you get in that list is 2 units of looters, a truck, some Gretchen, a unit of boys, and that's it. And
Question on that. Scrivo, you said there was an event that advertised that if you brought a Stomper, you got to use more Daka or something.
yeah, that was Gothic Games in Canterbury.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
anyone take it?
Don't know.
I'm not sure.
I think it was that the one where if you took a Mordaka list with a Stomper in it, or with a Stomper in it, you got like 25 quid or something.
But you just got almost your whole ticket back.
Yeah.
For an RTT.
It's a cool idea.
Interesting. Well, Chris Orson, as he paints some orcs, he's painted a test orc and very nicely done. It's gone grey.
Yellow.
Got a bit of yellow pop there. It's a work in progress. Maybe the tail's going to be a colour. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to
That's
that.
really good. That'll look really good when you have like 40 of them on the table, right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the kind of scheme that looks really good with that.
But it's test scheme done, so presumably maybe he'll do different head bits for the different units. I don't know. Something like that works quite nicely rather than painting base runes.
I guess the key is with so many models, it's got to be something that you feel confident you can knock out over like 120 other models, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
100%. Farewell, Hussars. On the topic of perfection, more Emperor's Children. There's a lot of people who are starting Emperor's Children at the moment. That's
Happy exocrine noises.
Steve Tinks on the bandwagon with the below. A lot of bought in ninth. I've just dusted off and painted a test commissar for. There we are. So we've got some more guard. Look at that old school model. Oh,
Juicy.
nicely
You love
done.
that.
Oh yes.
Oh, that is.
Looks just like Steve.
Love that. So he's painted some guard, and then we've got a bit more. Chris has been updating his orcs. Oh, that's nice. That is a nice face there, Chris. Oh, look at that. Boom, on the internet, Chris. Tens of people are going to love you. John P. Watts, The Slow Journey, is working with Slanesh. He's gone for a bit of a more muted colour scheme there.
John P. Watt, a great lad. He's I've got a Tyranid list at the moment that I'm playing, and I've lost 4 out of 15 competitive games with it. 2 to John P. Watts.
Nice.
Wait, you've got a Tyranid list?
Yeah, mate.
Mental.
He dabbles in it. He dabbles in it. Adam here is changing it up with some more Emperor's Children. Okay, and that is very pink.
That is a very suitable pink. But is that a sister's rhino?
Yeah.
I'm going to judge him for that. I'm going to judge him for that.
Look like Sisters Light, doesn't it?
There's a little bit.
That's a strong pink. Ultimate Fink, he's big. Funk, he's big. He's green. He's angry. Is that Gasco? Or
That's
just
a war boss in Mega Armor.
a war boss? I thought you had all of the orcs in the world already, Dave. Not quite sure why. But we've got a naked scorpion here. He's yet to put on his clothes or his thong. And I think we've had our discussion before. Actually, Lewis has spoken about it. Is that I think too often we worry that when we post a work, we say, "Oh, this is a work in progress, guys," but we still try and make it look nice. And Lewis very much. I remember he posted like a tank which had like 1 coat of purple on, and was like, "Look, this is a work in progress." And obviously, it's all scratchy and like it's not smooth layers yet and stuff. And I think it's good just to be like, look, guys, I mean, you can see Rob's painted this and he's not painted some of the bits, and that's absolutely fine. It's just is a work in progress. So I think that's really nice. And then it's Davy's face. Do you see the content? Getting all the reacts. GSC. Oh, that was clever. Who did that? Was that Tom by chance? That was Tom. Yes.
Finally, the team has a GSE player.
Finally, it's taking a while. It's taking a while. Dopius Panda 365 getting some War Dogs ready for allies. Oh, bit of airbrushing there. Love it. Love to see the fades. I'm all about fades. I can't do them, but I do love the fade. I should probably dip into the chat because I've not been paying attention, but I've opened it on my phone. Gordon Chung, he's yellow. No pink there. Mr. Trick there, Gordy. Just a yellow rattle can. John Black says, does Ed know that storage boxes exist? He turned up to SCS with half a starter box full of models all over the place. I can't say I'm surprised. Ed, are you going to try and defend yourself here, or are you going to accept it?
No, that's how I pack models. It fuels me to know that it makes other people anxious. That's all. Like I'll happily sit there.
That's what top players are doing in the head. They are always in your head, even from the get-go. What sort of madman is this? This launching Tabaxi around in a starter box. He must be a pro player. Like just already beating them before they've played.
Yeah, my cat says hi, Pickleaxe, by the way, because my cat's here, and Pickleaxe has said hello to my cat.
Oh, okay. Gordon Chung says, in the 90s, we only had Flock. Yeah, I remember my very first models were...
back in my day.
Kylo's saying something about his custodies. Something's just like his custodies, and Ben's seen them. Not sure. Ben, can you pass judgment on Kylo's custodies?
I thought he had someone else paint them. That was.
Was that the thing? No.
That was my last thought. I thought someone else painted them for him. Okay. It wasn't me.
Gizmo's trying to defend his pile and saying that Gaz Golzer. Brainseller, yes, you are so late. Nice to meet you. We had some coaching sessions, Brainseller and myself. And then I introduced myself to him at the event. And Brainseller, I don't think actually knew who I was. So, pleasure to meet you.
Brian's lovely.
Glad I made such an impression. Cool. Pixie Rocker says, Gazgol is my son's model. He also has Space Wars and Demons. Once he's playing the games, could be interesting. So get him in young. How old is your son, Pixie Rocker? Are they at an age where they can start playing? When do you think the right age is? Who knows?
Can you imagine him like, oh, what model do you want to buy with your pocket money this month? Maybe some looters? Yeah, I think some looters. Yeah, some looters, son. Yeah. Well, I'll just borrow your army for this tournament. Yeah, because you're not going anyway.
Not going. Can I take your army?
So my partner's son is in, and I tried to get him into Lord of the Rings, and he built one model, half painted it, and then just lost interest. So I'm not sure whether he's got a career in it just yet. Drone is working on some BA. Anyone has any tips or thoughts or even suggestions that scream out on his model? Right, let's assassinate this guy's models. Let's go. Here we are. So we've got some BA. I like the gold scheme. I think that's quite a nice gun. I think you've watched it.
Zoom in.
Enhance.
There we go. Enhance. Get these rims sorted, young man.
I think basically the gold looks really good. I think if you just attack it with like a highlight, like whether it's like adding some silver to the gold that you've already used. Can't tell what gold you've already used or something, but normally the approach is add a really light silver to the gold and then approach it. I like dry brushing gold, to be honest, when it's on an entire model because it catches all the raised edges nicely. But it's down to your style, baby.
I really dry brushing work. There's so much trim on there. A dry brush would work wonders.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Because I like it on Space Marines when you're doing the entire thing metal because it just catches everything really nicely. Oh, makeup brush, by the way, bro. If you're gonna start dry brushing metallics, makeup brush. It's soft enough that you can attack it with you can really go for it. Doesn't overdo it and does it nicely.
Yeah, they're great.
I got a proper dry brush the other day. It changed my fucking view of dry brushing. It's amazing.
Yeah, makeup brushes are just like B-Tech proper dry brushes. they're just not quite as good, but they're accessible and good for people who just approach.
Oh yeah, I've got a shitty one from Poundland for my base coding.
Yeah, it's class. Yeah. It's class.
The only other thing I'd say is we like to paint in triangles, have the colours triangles, so like left, right, bottom, for example. That works naturally to the eye. So it could be so something as simple as if you put like a black handle on the axe, did a black gun, and then had a black rock heels on. That would just help to enhance like the model as well. Just working triangles, much like in 40k. We're all about triangles.
I've actually never heard that before, Chris.
Yeah, it's a colour theory thing. I remember seeing some heavy metal writer or painter was talking about, did a video on it. Yeah, like the eye likes triangles. So if you have something on like the left and the right and like the bottom, it kind of forms a triangle of colour, and your brain likes it.
I'm gonna have to think about that now.
Yeah, I try
Yeah,
to get some. It's why I'm like top heavy stuff. So like if you have like lots of colour on one at the top, but don't have that reference colour at the bottom, it doesn't look quite as nice as if you had like I don't know red eyes and a red cloak, or or like a red
Yeah.
hand on the gun and like a red tuft, for example. It's just like trying to get that coverage. I've got some more Ben here. He's working
What
on.
have I done now?
Oh, he's got.
that was a long night.
He's got a lot of models there.
That was a long night.
Oh,
Really long night.
that physically pains me.
Ben, how many do you have on the chopping block at the moment? Because I know you paint for a lot of your team. I can't remember what your team's called.
Something trash.
6++.
6++. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Those ones. Nothing at the minute. I'm pretty sure Josh has got some more Lehman Russes or Dawns. I think there is a 4 or 6 Dawn list
Oh my
in the pipeline somewhere. So there's definitely going to be some more Dawns crossing my table soon.
6 Dawns on the tabletop. Can you?
It's only like 1,500
I was
points.
going to say, yeah.
I know it's just not a lot.
Fucking crazy.
One of them can go through a wall a turn.
Yeah, 21
Oh.
inches. You go 21 inches through a wall and still shoot.
Oh, it's horrible. It is horrible.
Gordy working more on nights. Sea Woke is working on what are they?
They're
Titanicus, aren't they?
Titans for Titanicus.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you're not doing this right.
Yeah, it's not 40k.
No, we accept all 40k. Chris Glove's working on Gorkanaut, Morkanaut, I don't know. Something like that. One of those things that dies immediately. Oh, speaking of old school, look at this old school Land Raider painted in 1995 or whatever, with some
The authentic 1995 dust all over it.
yeah, beautiful. It's got some snaggers here. Oh, they look nice. Nice little scheme there. Haven't seen any basing from you though, Chris. You have to. Maybe it's coming up. I'm not sure. More Nurglings from Worcester Jeans. Working his way towards the 45. Scrivo is building some Bloodthirsters here. Look, it's me, guys. This is what a scout looked like before I put any like highlighting or basing or dust or anything. My next video will have a proper good. Then Connor offering some witty banter there. Drifted Away says extremely unhappy with this. Oh no. But here I am with my Emperor's Children versions. I think the most pink one is just hard to see.
I really quite like that most pink one. The first one he did.
Yeah. And also, don't forget that once you've done the basing often adds so much to model. So don't forget about that. But yeah, I think that's effective. And you have to remember, from the point of view of a tabletop, like just stand 3 meters away, and you know what? It's going to be effective, and that's the most important thing.
3 foot fabulous. That's the rule.
Fabulous.
I love it.
Speaking of fabulous, look at this bad boy. This is
Wow.
Is that flecked paint on it? Is it? Like just flick a brush?
Could also be stippling, couldn't it?
No, that's like free-handed on there, isn't it?
Let's have a look. Zoomy.
It's stipply, isn't it? I think like an old dry brush stippled.
Is that like the paint that cracks over the top of?
Is this Ed Fawcett with texture paint?
No, I don't think so.
No.
There's an example of one of his other models further down where it
That's
shows
done by
some of
hand,
it.
I'm sure. That's intentional.
Looks very good.
Gotta be.
Well, maybe we'll get to it some more. Oh, speaking of, here's Ed Watts.
Yeah,
Look at that bad boy. What a hero. He's so excited to be legended. Look at him.
he gets
Nigel,
mentioned it,
look at that.
I'm going to be so upset. I've worked so hard to make Nigel. Green stuff to fucking beard. He better be amazing.
We have to use him as a normal guy.
Yeah.
There we are. There's the back of it. Ed's done a pretty good job there, haven't you, Edward?
I'm happy with him.
And here's some work in. This is what we were talking about earlier about that extreme style of contrasting stuff. There,
Ooh, look at that. Cool.
very funky. Jerry's here. Welcome to some CSM chosen. Oh, silver. Oh, cheeky. Work in progress there. Beautiful stuff. Nacho cheese. Painting along. Got a few more jackals to paint. Well, this is my scheme as well. My world eaters are some of my nicest painted models. I just genuinely can't face painting more.
The heresy colours, is it?
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
colours on mine as
Legion
well.
colours, yeah.
It's a shame because you're really good with world eaters, Chris, aren't you?
I'm so good. I have won. I have won some game, more than one game with them. I've lost a lot more.
Are you the guy that does Bloodwatch then? Are you, Chris? Is that?
Yeah, well, I'm
That's
the one.
what I thought I knew you from somewhere.
Me and Aaron do Bloodwatch. We'll be doing one soon, actually.
Aaron. Aaron's going to chip in.
Yeah.
This is cool. I like this. This is very funky. This is purple and metallic blue. This is by Gizmo. This is sick.
I wish I could paint like that, man. That's just awesome, isn't it?
Look at that. So neat. So neat. Look at that cloth. Oh, beautiful. Gizmo, you're in the chat. You're a hero. Bow down to you, sir.
That's the microchip for, mate.
Kylo has chipped in. You were talking about static grass. I used a lot. Here we are. Kylo with his stone custodies. And that is a lot of static grass. I like that.
Stonedies.
Yeah. Very
Stonedies.
nice. But you can see the triangle I'm talking about here, like head and arms. It forms that triangle. And if you had like a glowing bit on the bottom as well, that'd be even, and that'd then complete into some sort
Sorry,
of
does that count as battle ready? Like, I'm gonna call it
Only two
that. I see two colours.
Got someone working on some models here whilst watching us. Oh, look at that! You was going to get a shower when you're doing that sort of stuff. Well done, Pixie Rocker. You know what you're doing. Adam's chipped in. Look at all these people chipping in because they're watching the show. They're like, oh, I can have my time on the internet. Look at Adam. You've gone full pink. That is Barbie pink. I like that. That is striking. What colour base would you go for? Dark grey, do you reckon here? With a pink tuft or blue tuft, maybe? Blue eyes, blue tuft?
Nice and dark with those bright.
Yeah, you got a dark base there, Adam.
I like dark green.
Dark green for a base. Controversial. Look at this bad boy. Got a lot of green stuff going on here on these knights here. This is from Sectux. Lovely stuff. How's the chat going? Pixie Rocker's son is there. His last model was Manga Squibs. I don't even know what those are.
Manga squigs.
Of squigs.
Oh, squigs. Okay. John Black says, any tips for super glue brands, pot types, that don't leak down the side or apply too much?
Use gel. It's the best thing ever.
The best one that I found is the Loctite ones. You just get them in Tesco's. Those ones. Those are the best ones I've ever used.
I do like them. I assemble a lot of stuff with them. I use it for a lot of basing as well because it's just cheap enough that you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's quite thick. Quite thick, not too thin. It's just good.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't run at all really, which is nice.
If you live near the Milton Keynes area, the shop there has their own like local producer of super glue, which sounds very suspicious. But it's really good. So
is there a lot of old horses around there?
Yeah, I was about to say that. They also sell a load of lasagnas back in the day, but they stopped selling them after a while.
Thanks, Tesco.
So yeah, if you wanna, I'll keep the screen up. So if you guys wanna throw your stuff into the Discord whilst we talk, because I said this would be an hour show. We're an hour and 15 in, nailed it. Inceptor whip and completed model from Nightingale. Let's have a look. That's super zoom. Nice flames. And you've got the
a dark angel.
I know it's no one's perfect.
Which company is
Hey.
that knee pad from? Is that
That's a funky one, isn't it?
No one knows the law, John. Shut up.
Yeah.
no,
Boo, nerd. All right. Did we had some questions? I think in the chat.
Oh, can I do a shout out for
Oh,
something I
of
can't
course you
remember?
can, Davey.
So there's a channel. I don't know. So I'm a bit conflicted. So maybe it'd be good to get people's opinion on this.
Okay.
There's a channel that I've been listening to recently. They do original 40k short stories, and they're very good. They're very interesting to listen to if you're painting or whatever.
Yeah.
The channel is called Grimdark Shards. They're really cool little stories. There's tons of them. It is read out by an AI voice, which I would have an issue with. However, they are original stories. So that kind of, I feel like that makes it okay, but would love to get, especially
Great
Scriver's.
narration.
Scrivo, what's your opinion on that?
Scriver hates the computers.
No, I don't like where it can be something that's creative that a human would do. And I get what you mean that it is written by a human, but it's just like voice actors are a very underappreciated community.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it's if the guy
it's
doesn't
a
want
cost
to
thing, right?
or the gal. Sorry.
It's hard, isn't it? Like if you want to share out your stuff, then obviously you can't afford to pay a voice actor. You want to do your best job. You think that whatever. Like absolutely. No, it's. I think it's got to be a really ethical thing. We because I mean it's not particularly relevant, but we had I got to use AI art on the computer for the first time the other day, and as I did it, I was like, "Oh, Scrivo will be so upset with me." But it was for an April. Well, I used it twice actually. I firstly used it for our very exciting announcement about us becoming 6+++ earlier today. If you've not seen that, check
Love
out
that.
our Facebook page. It's just a coincidence that we did it on April Fool's Day. Just a coincidence. But at school, the year sixes have been quite hard work recently. So the teachers like really want to get our own back on them, and April Fools prank them. So the year six teacher told them that the Google plane was flying over and taking photos, and then we're going to upload them immediately. So they should go out onto the field and form a word. So she got all the children to go out and lie on the field and spell out the word hi. And they had to lie like absolutely still for like 5 minutes. She was like, can't move, otherwise the picture will be blurry and like all that sort of thing. And they all lay there and they were all super, super excited because, they're gullible idiots. And then she brought them back in. She was like, I've received it. And she'd set up, so like multiple pictures on a PowerPoint. So it looked like you were zooming in on each slide. And what I had done yesterday is I'd gone onto an AI picture generator and typed in the prompt to get AI to create a picture of children forming the word April Fools in a burgundy school uniform on a field. So she just like super zoomed in, and then obviously it revealed April Fools, and they absolutely loved it. Which is just obviously they then trashed the school immediately, but they did love it at the time, so that was good.
My school has a long history of April Fool's jokes, mostly being played by the students.
Yeah.
The point where there's like a notice that goes around the school, like you need to watch out for these students doing tricks and stuff because they do stuff that's that can be quite disruptive. Like a couple of years ago, they put there's like a bridge that goes over one of the main roads in the school, in the town of the school that I work at, and they put a Mini on there, like at the car, and then they carried it up onto the bridge and just left it on there. They've got like 80 chickens and released them onto the school field a couple of years ago. And then there was one who there's because it's a very old school, and there was like a law passed in the town, like get those super old laws that are always like really weird,
Yeah.
right? So there's a law where the prefect of the school is allowed to shear a sheep on the front lawn of the school on on a certain day, and April Fool fell on that day, like day of the week. So he was just turned up with a sheep and a printout from like the council or whatever, saying that the
Yeah,
law was like legitimate, and he sheared a sheep on the school front lawn.
Amazing.
You gotta respect that.
Yeah, they do put in effort. They do put in effort.
Probably done. What else have we got here? So Nacho's posting his skull. Very nice. What's going on here? What is this? Just fixing bits, something a bit different. Not sure. Explain yourself, Nacho. What is this? Oh, it's artwork. Oh, you painted. Oh, you painting a bloodthirst. Ah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
Sketched it out in the lines.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
That'd be cool.
I would wear that as a loincloth.
Well, there we are. If you super chat enough money, Ben will get that made as a loincloth.
It's a bit small for me.
On the show. And Ed sent to me. Chris, come on, post more greater. Yeah, that is me. Come on, guys, post some more. Let's really drag this out.
So, what do you think of Tesseract Glow, by the way? Because I'm just using it for the first time today. It's pretty cool.
It just splits really badly, so you have to really give it a massive shake.
Oh, I'm the king of shaking.
Yeah,
To be fair, I saw you shaking earlier.
practice.
Yeah, I saw Davey shaking a pot earlier, and I had to double take. I was like, what?
On stream, Davey, come on, man.
It's
Not that kind of stream.
Not at the table, Carlos.
He was leaning to one side and properly going for it. That's what I thought. I was like, Jesus, what's going on? It's funny.
Yeah.
Are you guys? Do you guys doing any reading lately at all? Any 40k lore stuff?
I wish I read stuff, but I can't read. So
I can't read.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Carry on with your trail of thought, Jack. Because
Jack has a really savage way of words sometimes.
honestly, I'm numb to it now. When he says it, I'm just like, yeah.
Mate, I watched you play that Admech stream. I could tell you hadn't read your rules. Just saying.
Oh!
I knew all my rules, mate. I knew all of them.
Yeah, once the other Admech player told you them, yeah.
Savage.
I mean, that was actually fine. Until he. My rules were all okay. It's sometimes the radium carbines were too short of a range. Then it was fine.
It was the
was
model's fault, really.
Model's fault, yeah. But it's funny though. He was like, at one point he was like, "Oh yeah, your infiltrators have 3 attacks each." So no, they have 2. And he was like, "No, they have 3." No, they have 2. I promise. And he was like, "No, they have 3, dude." I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
They're even better than I thought.
Oh, but yeah, back to my original question. Have you guys been doing anyone doing any like Black Library reading or anything like that?
I enjoyed Dante when I was painting Dante. Listened to Dante, and that was actually really good. Don't really know much about the Blood Angels lore and stuff, and I found that quite interesting to
Just wanted to die.
to listen to. And I started a while ago. I haven't carried on. I can't remember what it is. It's the one which kind of like carries on. It's based on when the Tyranids are all coming.
Devastation of Baal?
Yeah, maybe the Tyranids are on their way, and all the successor chapters are getting around. And audiobooks I struggle with a bit, like because I always feel I need to be doing like more than one thing at once. So like if I'm painting, I need to have a stream on or listen to something or whatever. I really struggle to just listen to an audiobook. Like even if I'm reading, I'll need like music on or just background screen TV type thing.
Like having a baby and deciding on a new army to collect.
Exactly that. Exactly. Can't just do with the baby. That's too easy.
Yeah. Chris is like, this is easy mode.
Yeah, come on, guys.
That's what I did with my Eldari 3 years ago, and I've painted fuck all.
Yeah. Right. We'll just keep doing this. And it's sorry, dear. Got to go and do the stream. Sorry. But no, that was quite interesting. But yeah, I struggled. I wouldn't be able to just sit there and listen. But like when I'm driving and stuff, audiobooks. Some of the audiobooks are really good. When I was doing the World Eaters, the World Eater ones were really good. There was one which was absolutely awful though, and I actually gave up on it. Can't remember what one it was now, but lots of the World Eater were like the calm ones and stuff were good. And there was just one, and it was just one of those authors who's like, "Oh, I know lots of fancy words, and I'm going to use them every every sentence, every 3 words, and I'm going to describe something in 2 pages, in which I could describe in 1 paragraph, and it just becomes like you just zone out, and zoning out when listening to an audiobook is counterproductive. Let me tell you that.
So they say.
Yeah, there's definitely some books I feel like are better suited for audio than others. Like, I'm sure lots of people have listened to or read Infinite and Divine. I mean, everyone says that's one of the best back library books that there is, and I'm sort of inclined to agree with that. I think that's so much better in audio form than it is in written form, personally.
Yeah, I did start reading it. It didn't I only read like the first 30, 40 pages. It didn't immediately grab me before I got sidetracked.
I think the Commons Arcane books are like that as well. I think they're much better in audio form than they are in written form. At the minute, I'm listening to Firecast, which is a book about Garden Tao.
Ideal for you.
Yeah, exactly. I actually really struggled to get into it at first. Like, the first act is quite a difficult read because it introduces a lot of characters and it jumps around the perspective quite a lot. If you're not really paying attention, it can be quite hard to follow at first. But then the second act really picks up a lot, and because it focuses on like the actions of individual characters a little bit more rather than setting up what everyone's doing.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier listen. But yeah, that one's getting really, really good. Turns out having guardsmen in not space Vietnam is really good.
who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
I really like the Siege of Terror series. They were a lot of fun.
No, I've not. I've actually read them. I mean, but obviously there is. But what is your favourite? If you had to pick one, what is your favourite Horus Heresy book?
I'd say Khan the Betrayer for me.
Mm.
Yeah, really like. What was who was the world leader? What was his name?
Khan?
No,
Khan?
no, not world leader.
Hang on.
Khan.
The not the world leader. The religious
Garrow.
knights.
Erebus.
No, he's oh fuck! I've lost this, haven't I?
Lord
All right,
Cypher.
Rob, at your age,
Luther.
I know
memory's
it's past my bedtime. I should give up,
Horus?
shouldn't I? No,
The religious one.
Argyle
not-
Tal.
Oh yeah.
Coolest fucking character in the whole Horus Heresy series.
He's pretty cool. For me, the Thousand Sons one. So I really, really liked reading the Thousand Sons one. I thought the guy who wrote it nailed it. And then I read the Space Wolves version of the same account. It's utter trash. It was just so disappointing that it was obviously different authors, but it wasn't remotely of the same quality, which I found such a big shame actually, because I was looking forward to hearing about like the same event, but it from the other perspective it just didn't at all. I think that was a shame.
Did not nail it.
I really struggled to get into any of the Horus Heresy stuff, to be honest.
Did you read the initial trilogy?
No.
It's boring.
I love the initial trilogy. I loved the initial trilogy. I love my personal all-time favourite Warhammer book is the first Grey Knight one. So there's a Grey Knight omnibus called Grey Knight, and the first one is I've read it like 8 times. Like it's just so good. Like there's good twists, good action. So if anyone has any interest in Grey Knights or in general, just a good 40k story, that's I would highly recommend. I would highly recommend that one.
When you picked it up, could you put it down?
No. I mean that might have been the
It wasn't
case
up your
with
down enough.
entities, but it was yeah, and it just made me like so excited to use Grey Knights on the tabletop as well. Like yeah, it's like a rogue inquisitor who they're hunting, and then they did do a second and third one. Second one's okay, and the third one's a bit like but yeah, no, I did really enjoy.
One that I really liked was Ascension Day, which is
I really want to read it.
it's half GSC perspective and half AdMech perspective. That's really good. That's
Can
really,
you get
really
that
good.
on Audible?
You can, yeah.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one. I think that I feel like GSC is one of those factions that sometimes gets portrayed like half the time they're portrayed as like mindless, like waves of almost zombies, and then other times they're portrayed as like a tragic kind of faction, which is kind of what I more prefer about them. I think they're more interesting when they're like that.
Yeah, I remember reading a short story somewhere, and it was very kind of sincere, and they were trying to escape the planet, and you don't realize until the end that they're actually GSC. It sounds like they're genuine Imperial like citizens trying to escape,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then at the end you find out like they've got spikes on their head and stuff.
Yeah.
Was that? I don't know. I think they turned that into an animation. Hammer and Bolter on the
Oh,
Warhammer
hang on.
40.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I was
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say. I think this sounds very similar to.
Yeah.
No, that was a good one. It did make you feel a bit of something for the GSC. And then I remember saboteurs exist, and
Yeah.
I never felt anything but hate again.
I'm not using them, but I want to. I haven't got them in my list at the moment.
It's
I
just
mean,
so annoying. It
I
depends
would
on what
recommend
army
you
you play,
don't do
right?
it.
But the armies I play, it's like, oh god,
Oh, I'm running a 5-wound MSU unit. It'd be a shame if you could just kill them.
just nuke them before I. It's dead. Good.
Oh, you arrived in my presence. Shame.
Yeah.
Never have any sympathy for elves.
No, we're preaching.
I
Indirect
mean,
them.
yeah, that's fair.
Indirect them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Scrivo's just popped something in.
Oh,
Excuse you. Sorry. Well, where did that come from? This
Just
is
been
hobby and
building for
chill.
an hour.
He's taking it too extreme, and that's what he's achieved so far. He's put a photo of what he's done. So far, I've not achieved much. I'm not going to lie, guys. I've painted the black on 4 scouts and the grey on 1, so it's not kicked off, but it's better than nothing.
someone has to guide us, Chris.
Yes, I have to pretend to
Exactly.
control this rabble. I want to head over to the Discord questions now. If you've enjoyed this video stream, please do give us a like. That would make us feel warm and fuzzy inside. And hopefully we've provided some nice background to you as you all listen. So let's just head into Discord. So we did have some questions. If I can find them. How many detachments do you think it takes before the number becomes a barrier to entry at above a pick-up and play level?
This is so topic for me.
QF, the several hundred casters War Machine had by the end of MK3, which are about the equivalent to detachments. So obviously if we're playing 40k and each army had 30 detachments, right, that would be absolutely mental. So are we at that stage already? Like, do you think it matters? Like, what's the number? What number do you think?
I'll let Davey
feel like
go
we're
since
getting
he's passionate about it.
Oh no, I just think I really like that they're updating rules. Love that. But I mean, if I look at Tyranids, we've got seven detachments. 7.5 if you include Final Day, and that's already kind of like some are just fall by the wayside completely. So unending SWAT, you've got like the halves, the ones you'd play and the ones you just wouldn't. So I don't know. It's like I kind of feel like, hey, why don't you fix the ones that are there? But I also like new news. I'd rather see maybe data sheets done because then there's less things to really like get your head round. I loved when they fixed some of the Tyranid detachments. I was like, great, I can use this now, and here's a cool unit that's now in it, like what they did with Vanguard Onslaught. But yeah, you put something new in there, and then all of a sudden you get to the table and you're like, oh, I'm playing the new, I don't know, the obscure faction. Can't think of one off the top of my head. Salamander's detachment. You're like, what?
Yeah.
You just have to kind of, it's just more homework to do, which some people have time for, some people don't. And therefore, to answer the chap's question or chapette's question, yes, it is a barrier to entry because people just go, I just can't be bothered. It's my 10 cents anyway.
Or in the inverse, where people only go with the one detachment that people say they should play.
Yeah, I think that's the other side of it. Is there's this weird mentality around 40Ks. You should be competitive all the time, and you shouldn't be for the first while you're playing. I don't think
No.
you should just be enjoying your toys.
Yeah.
And then you should stop playing to enjoy your toys.
Exactly.
Play long enough.
I
Inari.
don't remember the last time I
Once
enjoyed
you get the
this game.
taste of it,
Blood in the water.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Like, we have such a desire as competitive 40k players to home in on what is the optimum build of something, and it would be very hard for developers to create a situation like what I would like is just a variety of different detachments that are playable and viable. So, like, like Davey, how many of the 7 Tyranid detachments are competitively viable, would you say?
Oh man, I mean, we're so lucky. We have, I would say, I think three and a half.
Okay.
Well, 3.5, and then final day.
Yeah, which is good. Okay, any of you guys, like, how for your chosen army, like, how many of the detachments would you say, if you wanted to go and do okay at a tournament, can you choose from?
Drukhari's all the Drukharis are actually decent. All 3 of them, weirdly, but they're all medium. They're not like
Three of
Shut up,
Advex.
Rob. They're great.
Yeah. 3 of Advex are pretty good. Halo Creed is good. Rad Zone is good. Skitaria Gogort is good. I don't even know what the other ones are, so I'm guessing they're not good.
Something with robots that
Cybernetica.
James tries to use.
Cybernetica's cohort was
Bad.
a non-entity, right?
Yeah, it's not great. I think basically Cybernetica just it does better in Halo's Creed if you want to try and take that build, just because I get that character that gives them both doctriners and stuff, and actually gives them doctriners, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think Tau have 4 out of their 6, but 2 of them were ones that were released after the Codex.
I'm hearing that Tal's broken then, right? It's fine.
So what I think like the ones that I would say that I say aren't competitive are ones. I mean, you could play crew, but it's a different codex, right? Essentially, which is you can play it to be quote unquote competitively viable, but I wouldn't say you're going to be like winning super majors with it. Same for retaliation card rate. I think those ones are. They're kind of in the same boat as some of what we would call non-competitive, and they're very thematic, but they're not necessarily strong. So if you want to run an all crisis suit detachment or your crew army, then you can run those detachments in its finest, which is kind of like unending swarm, right? It's not necessarily competitively viable, but if you want to run swarm Tyranids, you can run it and be happy, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. I think
they've both had moments in the meta where they've actually, didn't Recruit go top 8 in LGT last year?
possibly.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where you just have to get a good run and play against armies that can't deal with you. So, yeah, I think there's definitely. I don't think there's a situation if you want to try and be like kind of like going 4-1, 5-0 events like super majors, doing really well. Then yeah, there's a lot to learn, right? But I think if you're going to that point, you have to be willing to put in the dedication to learn those. If not, I think it's pretty easy for the way that 10th edition is set up. I think it's pretty easy to sort of learn out of the table what the detachment can do. Because there's only 6 stratagems and maybe a couple of enhancements that you would need to know. Other than that, it's basically the same as a regular army for that faction. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some factions that have a lot of detachments, right? Like Eldar having 8, 9, something like that. That's a lot to try and remember. Same for CSM as well. There's a lot going on there, and it does kind of end up that some of them fall to the wayside, and you want to see them improve those ones rather than release new ones. But
yeah, it's strats enhancements, and then you have datasheet rules as well, right?
yeah, but in theory, that you would learning those datasheet rules, you learn them for any detachment, right? Like if you know what a Farseer does in, like you know what he does in any detachment, right?
Nothing.
So my next question then would be, how many? And this will probably be, I assume this is personal preference, but how many detachments would you like to be good. So like for me, so for example, I wouldn't want to play an army where I've got 10 good detachments, because I would struggle to get enough games in and practice and work out what works for me. Obviously, if you've only got one good detachment, that can then become quite just a bit boring and repetitive playing. Like Grey Knights have obviously had that sort of issue. They've now got a second detachment, and it has altered the play style of the army, which is kind of what you want, especially with not that many data sheets. But what would you like? What would be an ideal number of competitive detachments for you that you think you could kind of manage and switch between and enjoy the experience over the course of like a year, for example?
I guess that depends on the army as much as anything, right? Because, for example, Space Marines, there's so many different archetypes that you could play for Marines that if you've got, say, 6 or 7 detachments, that would probably fulfill a lot of those. I would probably, if I was having to pick for Dark Angels, I'd just want my actual supplement detachments to be a little bit more playable, I think. So, personally, I'd rather that than have the big depth of different detachments. I'd rather just they were all good that they've got. So if the book only has 4 or 5, make them all playable. I think that'd be my argument.
So what's your number?
So 5.
5. So you want 5 good detachments.
Yeah, because that gives you so much choice.
Greedy bugger.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
all right. Anyone else? High or low?
Why not?
I would say 3 or 4, provided that they do actually alter the play style that you're doing with the faction. But I think that number can vary based on how many data sheets your faction has.
Exactly.
Like Marines probably need less good detachments, less high-end competitive detachments, because they have so many data sheets, so you can run a lot of stuff within that and like still have a varied experience. Whereas factions that have less data sheets, like Votan, right, probably want like 3 or 4 detachments that are good because they don't have many data sheets to switch things up with.
Anyone else got a magic number?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm on the ball. I'm on the line of all detachments should be viable in their own way. So I think they should all be competitive. Like I know it might be hard to manage or hard to choose between detachments, but it also means that you can create like if you had like 60 detachments, creating 6 different play styles, which also gives all of the different data sheets in the codex viability. It gives you a lot more scope to be able to use all the data sheets in a book, especially if a book has lots of data sheets, right? So I quite like the idea of just having all of the detachments being good. Obviously, we're never going to be in that position where they're all going to be competitively viable, but it's a nice pipe dream, right?
I think that's what we all want, right? But I think the question is more how many is too many? Like at what point is it unmanageable?
That's what I'm saying. I think having all of them being good isn't unmanageable. I think it's just good. But or do you mean like it's too much that it's impossible? Is that what you mean?
No. I mean just like how many is too many that you can't play them all, right?
Yeah.
So like, would you? Like, I know we all want them all to be good, right? But let's say you had 8 detachments for your army that were good. Like, what would you? Because I know you play obviously 40k a little bit different from the rest of us. You more pick an attachment that you want to play and build an army around it.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of us more have a faction, and then we have to try and fit that into a detachment, so it works a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But in terms of like learning what they do, how many do you think is too many?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4. Then I think you're right. I think 3 or 4 is a reasonable number, because then you can sort of put a bit more time into it and sort of understand the interactions. But yeah, I think 3 or 4 is good for that theory. It's nice. It's nice.
Lovely. Right. This is Devon Dopius Panda. This has probably been asked before. Well, it doesn't matter. But what are the units you see on the other end of the table, and you are either super excited or dreading facing it? So you turn up to your table. I mean, there might be so that's aside from a particular faction. Is there a certain unit? I mean, well, again, we'll exclude. Oh, great, 30 looters at the moment or whatever. But is there like maybe you've got a bit of a historic? So for me, it's like Riptides.
Yeah, I was going to say Riptides.
I've just been burned by Riptide so many times in 8th edition as a custody player. So yeah, it was just like, oh, Riptide. Whenever I see Riptides, they could do absolutely nothing. I'll still be terrified of them. So yeah. So what about you guys? What are you worried about when you just rock up to a table?
Makari.
Makari.
I had PTSD moments with this guy, and I can't ever look at him without great fear and pain in my eyes.
Yes.
To be fair,
Not Gazgo. I couldn't care less about Gaz, but Makari.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was scared of him until I discovered the grenade keyword, and then I was like, "Oh, this is fine. This is fine. I can get rid of it now."
I would say those squig riders that orcs have.
Interesting.
Those things trigger the hell out of me. And I don't know, like I've had them so many times where I've got to play against them. They've got the war up, and then they just pop their -1 to wound, and they just absolutely refuse to die. And it sets me off every time. Nothing tilts me faster than that unit.
I think
Right,
on
making
the
notes.
back of that, probably anything that has a feel no pain, and you've got a lot of the profiles that's their exact wound characteristic. So like,
Yeah.
I've got all these damage too, and then you're firing into 6 at feel no pains, and they just seem to get it every time. They don't, but it seems that they get it
It
every
feels
time.
like it.
Or
Because
like
every path 6 up is basically another 4 up in Van Past or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Or like it's like Joe Imperial Knights when they were good at the start of the edition, and like they had a 6 feel no pain, and you're just like they just seemed to pass 50% of them. They didn't, but it felt like they passed 50% of those motherfuckers. So yeah,
I guess fight first units like Lilith. When I see them on the table opposite me, I'm just like, just the threat just spooks me, and I have to remember just.
But Lilith, absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's scary though, right? And then the other one is the Sanguinor. If they're a competent player, seeing that on their deep strike pile, I'm like, oh god, I've got to be so careful.
It's just that usually means that
the threat,
first
right?
trade or whatever is like, it's not going to go well, is it?
I remember I won a game against Harley with the Sanguinor. With
I remember that too.
turn 1. I was just like, I'm going to turn with the Sanguinor here because he charged some Terminators into some dudes. And I was like, okay, so Sanguinor fights, kills Drago. Shouldn't happen, but did. It was fantastic. And then he was like, oh, that's unlikely. I was like, yeah, it's pretty unlikely. Then he proceeded to fail his battle shock check from some Reavers. And I was like, okay, so no armor contempt. And in his turn, he lost 7 Terminators and Death Drago. I was like,
when you're playing the 30 Terminator build and you lose one of those, a third of your army basically turn 2. It's a sad time. Poor Harley, we all felt very sad for him.
Anyway.
Anyway. Anyone else for any terrifying?
Wraiths, or the 20-man bricks of warriors. Just durability bullshit that doesn't die and comes back. Yeah, like I've almost got it, and then suddenly it's on full wounds again.
We all have a story, right? That one time we played Necrons and we nearly killed it, and 2 turns later the unit was fully back again. And
well, when Necrons were around, I basically decided to write an anti-Necron list, and I was like, nope, not going to let Wraiths exist on my board. I don't like that. And I played Chris with it when he had his 80 Wraiths. So I was like, yeah, it was fantastic.
Enjoy that one.
Yeah, it was great.
That's the upside of being able to change factions when you're running Drukhari at them, like, I don't die.
That was my first ever game against Ed. Really got to play. Necrons, it was the Canoptic Court had just come out. Everyone was excited. It was at Nottingham. And Ed was there and he's like, I'll build this list. I think it beats Necrons. And I was like, okay. And we just kind of discussed it and I was like, there's a real thing I could do here. It was Black Templar Horde. And it's just like the game basically was like, well, Ed going, well, if you charge in, I do, then just kill your army. Right, okay, so I'll probably won't do it. And then I'll just kill that. And I'll just kill that. I was like, okay, cool. And, it was such an anti-Necron list. I was like, it's fine. Ed's going to go and win the event. Then you got to play Josh Roberts with Necrons. You went and lost to it. Ruined that one for me.
The worst thing about that, I was like, because basically the whole idea of the list is that you blocked off their rerolls by controlling 2 objectives in the middle. So they know their race have rerolls. You curb the combat damage. All they were doing is relying on Doomstalkers. Suddenly it becomes very swingy. But then what happened was it was a 6 objective take and hold. So I couldn't stop him from getting his rerolls. And I was like, well, I have been foiled. Fair enough, Josh. You've hit me on the correct mission.
Damn you, hidden supplies.
Yeah, fair. To be honest, I didn't think that far ahead because I just didn't think I was going to make the top cut. And then I waited the top cut and I was like, oh, I didn't think this through.
What are the missions again? Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't plan for this. But then I played Purge, and I was like, oh, I didn't plan for this, and this feels okay. Because I only have like 5 bricks that are just going into people.
Yeah, I think we played on Purge.
Yeah, that was probably that might be why it was miserable. To be fair, because I think just poke out like a little bit of the units and just like,
Yeah.
do you want to go for it? You
And
wanna go
then
for it?
all of a sudden they're 6 inches closer as well.
Yeah,
If we did bother to shoot them.
What a horrible
Yeah.
time when that fucking codec, when that detachment was good.
Ugh. A West.
I think the Black Templars were never broken, right? Never.
I guess one historical one that I haven't faced since the book is the Incarn. Like, just the threat of the Incarn for so many editions, it was like, I just don't want to see that on the table.
I mean, she's still pretty decent. Clement used her against Lewis in like one of the finals of the RCT at the weekend, and it was just the way he was like, "Okay, and Ian Khan's going to teleport here," and Lewis was like, "Oh, I totally forgot about that." You know, it just suddenly appears on their own natural expansion objective, and it's like, "Fuck." Yeah, still very. It's one of those things like you do find you get models or units where people are like, "Oh, it's not good anymore. Shouldn't, yeah, it'll be fine." And then you end up playing against it, and you're like, "Oh no, this is still good. My army still can't kill 6 race in one activation, so I am still fucked." Like these things do still happen, don't they?
Yigkan isn't as good, but it's also 140 points less
Yeah,
than
exactly.
it was.
It will still cause carnage if you allow it to.
It just actually dies now. When it...
Yeah, it's far easier to kill. And you know, you hear the hyperbots like, you know, beforehand it's like people worked out how to kill the Inca, you know, grenade, tank shot, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes in the game that's just not a possibility. Sometimes this thing is just gonna run riot for a little while. And you just that's good.
I think that's what your one did, Ben, on the first time we played. I think I had a 1 wound Yinkan on my home objective for like 2 turns. That was good fun.
Yeah, there was triple night spinners bullshit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you got me. I was an idiot, and you just dart lanced shit out of a spinner turn 1. I was like, oh, well, I'm an idiot.
It's all right, because before that I just walked in front of your Wraith card that were going to shoot back if I shot them. I was like, cool, I guess I stand here and let you kill me next turn instead.
Like, what do I do? I don't know.
That was a fun time, wasn't it?
Good fun.
Wraith guard shooting back.
Great time.
Happy memories, right? We don't want to go back to that stuff. All right, we've got one final question because we are here approaching 2 hours now. From Gizmo the Wizard said, "What did you think about the Adepticon reveals? And can you give us some basis predictions and wild speculation?" Oh, we would love to do that. About what you think we might see in upcoming codices and detachments. So go on then. What was your favourite reveal from Adepticon?
Space Wolves.
Right, tell us one thing you think is going to be really exciting about the new Space Wolves.
I mean, new Blood Claw is going to be great. If you get 15, I think I've seen some like blurry ass, like, you know, data sheet card things.
Yeah.
And it looks like there might be 15 mans. That's exciting. And the idea that you can get like that is all going to be Primaris-fied again, and it's going to have this entirely new look, and all the old out with the old, in with the new, data, legending a lot of stuff as well. I'm quite excited to see how that's going to shape up the entire faction after. Because I have a feeling it's going to be very different to what we are used to as Space Wolf players. I say that as if I'm been a Space Wolf player for years.
He's a main.
I'm totally a main. I'm locked in now. But that's what I'm really excited about, and also just the new models. I've got the new what are they called? The new ones with the ones with like puppies next to them. Those dudes. I can't remember what they're called.
They're like OC3 troops as well, which is
OC3 Grey Hunters.
7-inch move.
Bananas.
Bananas.
Is a thing. I can just see. I'm gonna. If I was a betting man, I would say Ed is probably going to concoct some sort of MSU list based around OC15 units.
MSU.
MSU.
You even know me.
MSU.
It's going to be Black Templars Mark II, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 15-man units of a Primaris blood.
No, there'll be no need, Ed. You'll just be like, I'm just going to take 105, you know, with 120 models, all in 5 man. It's like your Blood Angels list. It's all going to be OC15. I'm just going to throw it on objectives.
But then I could take them in Anvil Siege Force and double their OC. It's going to be fine. It's gonna be fine, guys. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna be
That's
great.
hilarious.
I'll throw an ancient in there. I'll throw an ancient in there as well, and I'm going to double the unit up to OC7 each, and then everyone's going to be happy about it.
That is horrible.
I'm not saying that's exactly what I'm going to do. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. But it's what's exactly going to happen at some stage. It's going to be amazing.
Excited for that. Cool. Anyone else what was your favourite Adepticon news?
I
Cathay.
really like the Drakari reveals. They were great.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were so rich. And
End of edition refresh. Here we go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
When
It's gonna
are
be,
we?
It's going to be Drakari versus Khan when he comes back. That's what they're going to do.
When are we expecting 11th edition? I don't. As I say, this is my first like full edition, so I don't know how long they last.
apparently it's going to be next summer if it continues on the
Yeah.
standard path.
Traditionally, that's the cycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, traditionally.
So it'll be next summer, which it feels so weird because for me, I'm like, it doesn't feel like we've been doing 10th edition for whatever it is now, 3 years. But
Yeah,
we
that's-
have been. We're well into it, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's
That's at
such
the
a
back
big
end of it.
change up, right, from the last edition that
Yeah.
it's always going to feel new for longer rather than
Yeah.
A 9th edition was a tweak on 8th, right? So
Yeah,
So-
it's like even 9th edition when at the back end of 9th, it felt like we only didn't play that for that long. It's always that first like feeling when you find out about the change. It's like it doesn't feel like we've been playing this for as long as it probably have been going on for.
Okay, so we're excited about Space Wolves. We're excited about new Drakari potentially. Anyone else?
Cathay.
The new, that was crazy, right? That was a huge reveal. The new Old World stuff.
Yeah, it just looks awesome. I'm not going to get any of it, but it just does look awesome.
Yeah.
If I was going to build another fantasy army, then it would probably be that.
Yeah, no, I agree. The models look incredible. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's what I messaged Aaron. I said it's almost cool enough for me to get involved in. fantasy again. Not quite though.
Not quite. No, I fully agree. For me, it was obviously hearing about the new Grey Knights. Very excited.
Grey Knight.
Yes. Wow. I mean, that sucks, doesn't it? It's just it's an upgrade sprue, right? Basically, from what I could tell. So, I mean, I
thought
own
the whole
like
thing was bigger.
I don't know. Like, I know the rumor was it was going to be an upgrade sprue. I don't know if it actually is, but because it's most Grey Knight players who've been playing for Grey Knights for a long time have got more than enough Nemesis Dread Knights. So the fact that I've got like 7 or 8, just from buying from big groups of models from Ed and stuff. And
I've got 3 and I don't even have the army.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to be in a situation where you're going to get these. Is it going to be suddenly are maces or flails going to be the new thing? Like, what's that going to be like? So obviously, there's a big rumor that they're going to get a full line refresh in 11th edition, which will be very exciting. But yeah, curious. 5 detachments for Grey Knights in the book, apparently. So we'll have Index 1, and then what else is there? There's got to be some sort of Mortal Wound one, some anti-demon one. They've got to be very careful printing a Dread Knight or a vehicle-based one.
It's always weird, right? Because you think about it in the sense of like, from the lore, like what could we have? We could have like the Prognosticar one. You could have because there's different. What is it? I can't.
Brotherhoods.
Like not like not companies. They're called something different in
Brotherhoods, right?
Right,
Yeah,
different brotherhoods. Different brother has different
Yeah.
specialities. So you could imagine them having like a different detachment for each brotherhood. But
Yeah.
then you say that for a lot of factions, and they end up just getting a bunch of weird, random stuff for their.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell me what Tyranids are going to be, I would have thought, there'll be a Kraken one, there'll be a Behemoth one, which it kind of
They
is.
avoided that though, didn't they? They avoided and went more for archetypes adjacent rather than it being like here's a
Yeah.
Goth detachment here. Instead, it's Dread Mob.
Well, it's not consistent across the armies, right? Like I would say they did that for Space Marines and Orcs, but they didn't do it for like Tau and Custodes, right? So they did it for
didn't
GSC.
do all of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So who knows what you're going to get? It could be anything.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like the 9th edition Grey Knight book on the back of that. By the way, when you had all the different like each themed detachment, that was really cool. Like
And they were cooked.
they were cooked until they were balanced. But yes, they were cracked. But like, I really liked them. That was a really cool like example of a Grey Knight book. Imagine if you did that, but like not have the broken detachment in there. I think that's a pretty cool book, right?
Yeah, I feel like 9th edition had the benefit of being a very refined rule system over 3 editions.
Yeah, I'd
So
agree.
you had there was a lot of stuff that like I feel like a lot of people would say 9th edition was one of the best books that they had for a long time.
Yes, I think so too.
I'd say that about the Tau, and having read 2 books.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
I think Grey Knights might actually get something that does that weird thing where they cross over with another army. Like whether it's Imperial Agents or something, they'll have some sort of like shoehorned one now that they've
Oh
got
god, I
definitely
bet that'll be
5.
popular.
It'll be like, here you get Arbites or something with you, and there'll be some sort of special thematic reason behind it.
Demon Hunters detachment.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
On the Grey Knight side.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting, right? If they do it well.
Yeah, that's always the thing.
That I don't know. If I was a Grey Knight player, that'd be my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I don't want it. I want.
Yeah.
I just want a nice mixed detachment with. I mean, I would imagine I'd be paying anything with sigil and mists is also always going to be very interesting for any Grey Knight player. Like it's competing with Wartbane. Wartbane is a decent enough detachment. So, but they got to be very careful with any sort of mortal wound sprinkling detachment because that can obviously very quickly add up with the extra things like librarians and grenades and that. And I could see some sort of build where you can just fire off 1 billion mortal wounds, which is not fun for anyone really.
I reckon they'll pull what they did for a couple of the other detachments and separate out some of the stuff that's in the Index Grey Knight detachment, because they're one of the factions that have like an all-rounder as their Index.
They're going to have to, otherwise they won't give too many options elsewhere with it.
Yeah, so I think you end up with stuff like Sigil and Mist just not being in the same detachment.
I do hope that they avoid it being too much that they theme the detachments around a specific unit type of keyword, because it can be a bit hit and miss. Like, look at Bully Boys. It was really too good. But then if you try to build it with anything other than Mega Knobs and Knobs, every single stratagem's triggered off of those 2 keywords. It's just...
Yeah, but why would you run a Bully Boy list if you didn't want to run the knob? That's the whole point of it, right?
But that's the point. It becomes 2 data sheets is the detachment, and they've got like
anything you've got a war boss in, right?
Yeah, but the stratagems are only keyed off of those 2 keywords, so the war bosses don't get anything for it.
I'm not sure.
Specific.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but
well, you try playing it without using 3.
Yeah, but why? Why would you?
Because they're not very good all the time. Just them, but still being playable would be useful, right? Because that's not 2,000 points of army.
No, what I'm saying is that you want to pick a detachment, and that makes the knobs and mega knobs better. Then that's what the detachment does, right? That's the choice that you're making.
Yeah, but not all detachments are built that way. Is what I was trying to get at. A lot of them have something that's a bit more flexible, like Armor Contempt for a lot of power armor guys works on everything.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference between a good detachment and a bad detachment, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is I don't want it to be like that.
Yeah,
because it's really boring to try to make anything interesting other than just going, I'll go Warhold instead.
I like that there are detachments that specialize in different units. I think that works quite well. I think, but it's a double-edged sword. I think is basically the long and short of it.
It works until it doesn't. I think that's the way to look at it.
I mean, I think there's good ways to do it and bad ways to do it. Like I think Crew Hunting Pack is a bad way to do it. Whereas I think the most of the Space Marine detachments are a good way to do it.
Yes, so like Stormlance favors being mounted, but 3 of the stratagems still work.
Yeah. Exactly.
Indeed.
All right. Wow. We got one final. We'll do one final question from the chat, which was from Marangadam, who says, "I'm a noob." August. Nice. Good to have a date. Does a codex release usually mean an improvement in competitive results? I'm a World Eater player. Well, there's a story there, isn't there? formally, yes. In years gone by, codex creep was obviously a huge thing, and it was kind of, if you had a codex at the beginning of edition, you did struggle compared to the ones at the end, as they just slightly improved the rules each time. This is probably the first time where they've generally managed it quite well, and certainly some books are more powerful than others. Not all detachments are created equal, but you can look at the recent Quatmus detachments where they did a pretty decent job of most of the detachments offering something new but not overpowered. So would say we'd be cautiously optimistic that new books won't suddenly improve and make everything amazing, like formerly it could potentially do. If your army's already doing well, then it won't necessarily improve that result. As for World Eaters, I don't know, they've been in a really interesting place because they've never quite been allowed. Every time we've gone, World Eaters are quite good, and then there's come around a bunch of nerfs, and they've always just slightly, just nicked the edge off of World Eaters just in case. But they've got a potential to be very strong. There might well be some combination there, but at the same time, they're obviously a monophase army, which has its own limitations.
I think most codexes, well, at least over half of the codexes, have got what their index detachment was is worse in their codex than it was as an index. And I would say more than half, but a smaller number than the other ones. Codexes are probably weaker overall than they were as an index. I'm thinking Custodes, GSC, I guess arguably Necrons, Guard. Like, I'd say they're probably competitively worse as a codex than they were as an index. There's only a couple that I think are better off, and those are like CSM. I was going to say Eldar, but Eldar Index was just crazy when it first came out.
To be fair, CSM index is pretty good, right?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, their indexes were all really strong, and then they were made worse. But the book is still overall. I think as a general rule, I would say you're looking at a competitive downgrade from getting a codex in 10th edition. I think the only exception I could think of is Sisters.
Yeah, and even then, that was only from really Bringers, right? As soon as Bringers was fixed, it was generally, and Miracle Dice Generation was fixed, it was generally speaking fine.
Yeah, so
there you go, Morangadang, you're screwed, mate.
I wouldn't expect the Death Guard index attachment or the Thousand Suns index attachment to be as good as in the Codex as they are now. And the World Eaters one, I have no idea.
They usually dilute the strats across. They're very thematic strats, aren't they? They dilute them across the rest of the book.
Yeah.
But World Eaters, you've got the Grotmus detachment, which is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, Vessels is really good.
Yeah,
if you want to check out something different than your index, dude, the Vessels is very, very cool. I think Josie from Trial has been using it as well.
Yeah.
It's used some absolutely devastating effects. Fair play to it. So go check that out, man. It's a good attachment.
And I did a tournament review with that detachment as well.
Davey's also here. He also plays for it is. Yeah. He's probably got more of an opinion on it.
Aaron pointed out it has a 34% win rate this week. I think it comes down to the fact that the original detachment, to Jack's point, is just slightly better.
Yeah.
And is probably better for all-round play.
The sticky strat's very good, isn't it?
Oh, the sticky strat's amazing.
And that's...
It's also those strats of red, like fish getting Angron back as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts. But yeah, guys.
49% win rate. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fair and balanced. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's 58% win rate.
What, of Vessels?
Yeah, Vessels on its own is
50. Oh, I don't know what Aaron was telling me then.
Maybe that was just for this week's
personal stats.
I wouldn't get this Aaron guy on your stream, Parjo. He doesn't definitely don't do any shows with him.
He was at an event this weekend as well in Tennessee. No, he's going to an event soon in Tennessee. He was in Carolina this weekend.
Playing into 30 Space Wolf Terminators, right?
66% for Mordaka. That's well up here. Oh,
More like
Oh, we almost got through it. Good old Mordecai. Quick final little check. Morangadan says, I love this paint along. Does this happen regularly? Absolutely not. This is the first time we've ever done it. But
Let's do it again.
It certainly helps our productivity. It's good fun, isn't it? I think maybe what we'll try and do is something like once every Wednesday. Obviously, as we said, this isn't going to replace our live stream or anything like that, where we normally have talking more focused about particular topics. But maybe like one Wednesday a month. I don't know, we could do like the first Wednesday of every month. Not tomorrow though. Or something like that. And we can all just have a nice chat. Like looking at the views haven't been our highest ever, but it's been consistent. So there's big shout out to those of you who've just joined us and joined in the chat. And it's just a quick little check-in on what we've been up to on the final thing. So we've got a bit of discussion about this. This is what Nacho's working on for his paint 6. That's got to look sick when that's done.
There's still time to turn that into a loincloth.
There's still time. Theo joined in, and there's his Grey Knight Gilliman. I don't know. Very nice, Theo. And then Jack has built some nice little mortar team. Rob sub-assembled some wall spiders. I got the grey and black done on my there's my scout. You can do a sneak preview of my scout there.
Beautiful, Chris. Beautiful.
What hero? Ben's been building 3 rhinos. Rhino Rush, here we go.
Nailed it.
Absolutely nailed it.
Actually, interestingly, those 3 rhinos are 6++ GT prize money winnings. That is what being best overall gets you, boys. That's what it gets you.
Absolutely. Come to our
really
event.
old kit with spikes.
I have finished.
And 6 cans of Monster.
6 cans of Monster.
And all the Jaeger bombs. This is Ed. Here we go. Look at that. He's done that today. Oh, that is very striking. And then we've also got Kalbar here. Oh, those are garish. You love to see it.
Is that tartar sauce that's been painted on them? Or is it just in the back? Or is it just in the background?
Mint green there. There we go. Oh, receipts. Quick, let's start investigating. All the financial details.
That's a lot of tartar sauce.
That's a lot of tartar sauce.
That's a lot of tartar sauce.
That's a suspicious amount of tartar sauce. Like I think
What's going on there?
yeah, I think
It's almost excessive. Some
may say. And then we've got Pixie Rocker here as well. All about the vehicles, aren't we, here with the race crew? But yeah, thank you so much for joining, guys. This has been like good fun. So I've enjoyed just chatting and hanging out with everyone. So thank you very much. We have been 6+++. This has been the 6++++ show. And we love you very much. And we'll see you again next week for something a bit more focused, a bit more serious business. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.